What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of NBA action here on Thursday, March 6th. We're going to break down every NBA game tonight and a few of the biggest college basketball games on the slate. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure to check that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and player availability is confirmed. Yesterday, guys, we still have a couple games going on. We got off to a very good start there. A little bit of luck on our side for once. We had the Blazers plus 10.5. They ended up winning the fourth quarter there by 10 points, which will give us the cover there by that half point. So we'll definitely take it. Thank you, Blazers. The Celtics continue to be a great team to fade when they are coming off a win. We also had Cleveland minus 11. Their little run of, doing so well for us kind of comes to an end. They end up winning that game by only 5 points. We still have two games going on right now. We've got the Thunder minus 8. They're currently up by 13 there in the third quarter against Memphis, but not counting any chickens before they're hatched there. And we have Detroit there down by 5 there, but it's still in the first half, so we're not going to overreact to any of that. So still a chance to have a very, very nice day out there, guys. And we had a nice day yesterday, so 2 in a row would feel pretty great. Do me a big favor, slam that like button. Once we get to 1,000 likes, we're giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random commenter. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Once we get to 50,000 subscribers, we're around 1,200 away. We are giving away another free hoodie there. If you are a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all of my videos and get their names up on screen in every single video. But more importantly, you'll get access to our monthly members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member on March 20th, the first day of the NCAA tournament. All of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. We have a team of experienced cappers over there. All of us have at least 15 plus years in the industry, and together we cover all of the major sports. Right now, our premium members are getting daily college basketball, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. And Major League Baseball, our most profitable sport over the last 3 years running, is right around the corner. Click the link in the description to head over to StumpTheSpread.com and see everything we offer, including free-to-use bet size calculators, exclusive free picks not covered in this video, and our premium top confidence picks. If you aren't ready to become a premium member, sign up for a free account just to get access to our email newsletter, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every day and updates on results. Just make sure to check your spam folder. Our free pick not included in the video yesterday, guys, was NC State, and that one came through comfortably. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond every single day. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the night. We got the Chicago Bulls going on the road here to take on the Orlando Magic. The Bulls come into this game not exactly having a great time. They're fresh off a 139-117 loss there against Cleveland. They're 24-38 on the season, so obviously not what they had dreamed up for this year, but you also can't be too surprised. Right now, Chicago finds themselves in the 10 seed out there in the East. They're 2.5 games up on the Brooklyn Nets, so definitely not a full lock that they're going to get that 10 seed, but I would say, they've got a pretty reasonable chance there, a decent lead, and they're not completely letting go of the rope, but in that game against Cleveland, they were comfortably overmatched. Not a huge shocker to see the Bulls not be able to keep up one of the best teams in the NBA this season, but this team just really isn't built to compete at the moment. We see Josh Giddey leading things at point, Lonzo Ball, I don't know. This team has some pieces on it, but they are definitely in, something at least of tank mode, and they come into this game not looking fully healthy, guys. We see Giddey, Ball, and Vujacic all on the injury report. Kevin Huerter, Patrick Williams, probably both out for this game. We see Giddey, guys, he's dealing with a quad injury. He is questionable for this game. Lonzo Ball with a wrist injury, he's questionable here. And Vujacic, guys, he's doubtful there with that ongoing calf complaint. So looks very unlikely that we're going to have the full strength Chicago Bulls in this game as they head to Orlando. The Magic, 29-34 on the year. They've now lost 4 in a row, including losing back-to-back games at home against the Toronto Raptors. So a pretty tough look out there, guys. This Orlando Magic team has not lived up to expectations this season. They've done some good things. They looked great early on, but injuries really derailed their season. Now having no Jalen Suggs for the rest of the year is not looking good. It's not looking good. It appears that Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero can't really carry this team on their own. There's not enough talent around them, not enough perimeter defense, I guess, is what they're missing with Suggs, or somebody to reliably lead the offense. Although I don't think Franz Wagner does a terrible job of that, but right now, it's looking pretty brutal. That tough 1-point loss there against the Toronto Raptors, obviously that was some very, very bad luck, but Orlando stays getting unlucky, guys. It's just been a very, very tough year at them. I would watch out for them next year. We saw Paolo put up 41 points, Franz Wagner 28 points, but the next guy on the team, guys, 2 dudes scored 12 points. It is absolutely brutal out there. They lost despite shooting 42% from 3. the Magic really aren't going to play a whole lot better than we saw them play in that game. I mean, they put up 113 points. That's more than we normally see. And right now, guys, it's not looking ideal. They are pretty healthy. We see Cole Anthony there on the injury report. He's listed as questionable with his toe issue. The Magic are 7.5 point favorites at home in this game. We've got a total of 219.5. The Bulls 13, 15, and 1 against spread on the road, 21 and 16 against spread after a loss. Orlando 17, 15, and 1 against spread at home, 12, 20, and 1 against spread after a loss. This is a rough spot, guys. I'm actually siding just slightly here towards the Orlando Magic, minus 7.5. The Bulls are pretty banged up right now. Orlando, guys, I mean, they're trying to win games. They're in the 8th seed. They're definitely not going to play their way out of the play-in, but they could definitely, move up, have a competition there, a little race there with the Miami Heat. So go ahead and give me the Magic. I think this game means more to them than it means to the Bulls, but not a game that I'm interested in playing in a major way. Next up, guys, we got the Indiana Pacers going on the road to take on the Atlanta Hawks. The Pacers come into this game 35 and 25 on the season. They've won 3 out of their last 4. They're fresh off a nice 115-102 win there against the Houston Rockets. Very good stuff there by Indiana. We saw Halliburton have a nice night. What did he put up? Yeah, 28 points from him, 15 assists. The assist numbers going absolutely bonkers. I think we're getting a little bit generous with what we actually mark down as an assist these days, but no shade there. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Halliburton, at least in the last game. Another solid performance there from Siakam. Despite going 0-5 from 3, he managed to put up 18 points and be pretty efficient with his shooting. Across the board, really just very, very solid stuff. We saw, despite that bad night there from Siakam, the Pacers still shot 40% from 3. They made all 10 of their free throws. They won that game despite shooting 10 free throws versus the 26 free throws there of Houston. So just good stuff across the board from the Pacers. They come into this game, playing well. They're relatively healthy. Halliburton is on the injury report. So is Benedict Mathurin. So going to need to check up on those guys. Halliburton with his hip issue is apparently questionable for this game. After playing 36 minutes there against Houston, I would say it's at least slightly unlikely that he sits this game out. Mathurin, questionable, still dealing with that wrist issue, so we'll see if he goes, but I do pretty much expect Halliburton to play in this game. We'll have to see. The Pacers obviously need to be winning these games. They're trying to fight it out with the Milwaukee Bucks for that 4 seed for home court advantage in the first round. So we'll see what they do here against the Atlanta Hawks, who come into this game fresh off a 127-121 loss there against the Bucks. The Hawks in the 9 seed, looks like that's pretty much where they're going to be. I mean, I guess theoretically they could finish anywhere from 7th through 9th, probably not 10th, but still, this isn't a team with high expectations. Now, early in the season, things were looking very, very good, but they have pretty solidly come off the rails in that tough loss there against the Milwaukee Bucks. We saw Trae Young put up 28 points, but he was very inefficient, only 9 of 24 from the field. That's not usually going to work out. Not a ton of help out there. I mean, we do see Karis LeVert continue to play really, really well. 21 points, a +5 for him in the plus-minus. As a team, they shot 39% from 3. They did a very good job on the boards, but they just could not really do a whole lot there to slow down Giannis or Dame. So a little bit tough there. Also, the bench didn't look great in terms of defense. I mean, they gave up, 2 15-point scores off the bench, there for the Milwaukee Bucks. So not the best look there from the Atlanta Hawks. They come into this game a little bit banged up. I mean, well, not really. Only Trae Young on the injury report, and he's always on there. He's probable right Achilles tendonitis. I fully expect to see Trae Young play in this game. The Hawks, guys, need to be winning these games. They should be playing with max effort, but so should the Pacers. Atlanta getting 2.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 246.5. The Pacers 15 and 16 against spread on the road, 15 and 19 against spread after a win. Atlanta 12 and 17 against spread at home, 15 and 18 against spread after a loss. So not a whole lot to go off of there, guys. I'm actually going to be leaning here just slightly towards the Atlanta Hawks, getting 2.5 points at home, but probably not a game that I'm going to be super interested in. I need a little bit more clarity there on the the injury situations, but right now I think, especially if you see Halliburton sit out, like that's a big difference maker in this one. So this is a little bit of a wait and see spot. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Philadelphia 76ers going on the road to take on the Boston Celtics. The 76ers only 21 and 40 on the season, pretty much the biggest disaster you could possibly imagine for anybody that's not a Dallas Mavericks fan. The 76ers are 2.5 games back of the Bulls for the 10 seed, so not completely out of it. Obviously, no Embiid this year. They're fresh off a road loss there at the Timberwolves. They've been really, really floundering. I don't know, guys. Things are not looking great. Things are not looking great. Embiid being out for the year really feels like they should have just sat him for the entire season and not made such a farce out of this whole deal, but we'll see what they can do here down the stretch. It's looking a bit brutal. I mean, in that loss at the Timberwolves, we saw Quentin Grimes continue to play great. He put up 30 points. Paul George continued to be just a black hole of production, just looking terrible out there. 7 points from him, 1 of 6 from 3, 3 of 11 from the field. I don't know. I don't know what Bro's trying to do out there. Kelly Oubre played well. We saw no Maxey in this game. Like, Yeah, Buselé's looking like a good pickup, but he can only do so much. And yeah, they shot 20% from 3 in the game, 36 rebounds against the 37 rebounds there of the Timberwolves, but they played a very weak defense there. And I don't know, just not a great look, guys. It's frankly been incredibly brutal for the 76ers this season. And looking at the injury report, I don't know how much better it's going to get. I mean, Maxey on there, Paul George on there. It's not looking too hot. Maxey, guys, dealing with that back issue. He's been ruled out for this game. Paul George with a groin issue is questionable here to go against the Celtics. So we'll see if he suits up. The Celtics come into this game, guys, 44-18 on the year. They're fresh off of that win against the Trailblazers last night. Thank you for letting that game be pretty close. Peyton Pritchard went off for 43 points. Derek White went off for 41. Crazy performance there for a team that did not have all of their best players available. Clearly, they were resting guys on the front half here of a back-to-back, so we expect to see a lot of dudes back for the second half there. I mean, Jason Tatum should be back. Porzingis is a possibility. We'll dive into the injury report here, but very good stuff there from Pritchard and from Derek White, and they did play a lot of minutes. I mean, Pritchard played 43 minutes in that win, so we'll see what they've got left in the tank, but it's not like they're going against the toughest opponent here, guys. I mean, they're taking on the freaking 76ers, who are terrible. Maybe there's a possibility we'll see Porzingis come back for this game. We don't have a fully updated injury report. He was dealing with an illness, so I think there's a good chance he comes back. Tatum, guys, missed this game with a shoulder issue. I think there's a very good chance that he comes back and plays. Jrue Holiday also sat out there. He's dealing with a finger issue. I think it's kind of 50-50 whether he plays, but I kind of expect to see him out there. So looking at the numbers, these kind of back up, them being close to full strength in this game as well. The Celtics are 14-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 223.5. Philadelphia, 11-17-1 against spread on the road, 12-26-1 against spread after a loss. Those are some crazy bad numbers. Boston, on the other hand, 13-18 against spread at home, 4-5 against spread on no rest. They're only 12-30-1 against spread after a win. So, guys, are we going to do it? Are we going to stick to our rule that is always fade the Celtics when they're coming off a win? In this spot, guys, the 76ers, they're not even at full strength. I just can't do it. The Celtics rested a bunch of dudes. We're going to expect to see them back. We're probably not going to be locking this play in, and if we do, we're not going to lock it in until tomorrow because I need confirmation that Tatum, Porzingis, and so on are going to actually play in this game. But I think this is a good spot to take the Celtics at -14. I think they'll get a blowout win and cover here against the 76ers team that is absolutely atrocious. And the Celtics, despite playing on back-to-back nights, I think are going to be just fine. Hey guys, jumping in here with a quick ad break. This is a great time to sign up for StumpTheSpread.com. Signing up for a premium membership gets you access to our top confidence plays on all the major sports. We're currently covering NCAA basketball, the NBA, NHL, UFC, and the NFL. We have a team of professional cappers that work extremely hard putting in the research on these games every day so you don't have to. We make things very easy for you with pick notifications directly to your phone and unit sizes assigned to each play so you can see where our confidence level is on every individual matchup. To test out the service before you buy, join our free email list to get the occasional free or premium pick straight to your inbox. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free account. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Now, guys, back to the games. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Golden State Warriors going on the road to take on the Brooklyn Nets. The Warriors come into this game 34-28 on the season. They've won their last 2 in a row, and what is it, up to 7 out of their last 8 now? Absolutely cruising, a 114-102 win there at the Knicks, albeit in a game where Karl Anthony Towns didn't play, but we jumped on that one early, and it paid off big time. So we'll definitely take that. Thank you, Warriors, for getting the job done there. Another very good game. I mean, Curry and having a real player out there in the person of Jimmy Butler makes all the difference. Curry, 28 points. Jimmy, 19. Podziemski, a bounce-back game for him. He put up 19 as well. Buddy Hield scored 15 off the bench. The Warriors won despite shooting only 35% from 3. I say only, but this is a team that has to shoot the ball well to win. They did a good job on the boards there, and yeah, they did a very good job of limiting Jalen Brunson. Only gave 25 points to him. Didn't really do a great job against Anunoby, but overall, definitely not a game that Warriors fans should have any sort of problem with. So they'll definitely take that. Got to feel pretty good there for the Warriors turning things around so aggressively. They find themselves right now, guys, squarely in the 6th seed. They're tied, with the Timberwolves there, but this is a team that's playing really well. I would say they probably have their sights set on, maybe that 5 seed, seeing if they can catch up to the struggling Houston Rockets. So we'll see what the Warriors can do here. They come into this game looking pretty healthy. Kuminga, it does not necessarily appear that he's going to come back for this game. No, he's confirmed out. So he's not going to be back yet, but he's getting very close to making a return. And as long as he can fit in well, that could be a big help there for the Golden State Warriors, making them an even more dangerous team. other than him, they are fully healthy for this game as they go on the road to take on these Brooklyn Nets, who are 21-40 on the season. They are riding a 5-game losing streak, which probably feels pretty bad to them. They were a team that looked like they could challenge there for that 10 seed, and they're still only 2.5 games back, so they're definitely not out of it. Losing 127-113 though at the Spurs probably felt pretty bad. We see Cam Thomas come back, and immediately this team starts to struggle again. He did put up 24 points. He was 8 of 19 from the field, but only 4 of 13 from 3. He had 6 assists, so starting to play a little bit more of a facilitator role, but things just aren't necessarily falling right now. I mean, Cameron Johnson played a little bit better. D'Angelo Russell, though, a pretty bleak game from him, and the bench not really full of a ton of production, although it wasn't terrible, so we'll see what they can do in this one, see if they've got a little bounce back in them, but that might be a bit of a big ask. I mean, they come into this game in terms of their health looking very, very ready to go, and they're getting 10 points at home in this game. We've got a total of 224.5. The Warriors, though, 18-13-1 against spread on the road, 15-18 against spread after a win. The Nets, 12-17 against spread at home, 20-18-1 against spread after a loss. Guys, I'm leaning here towards the Warriors here at -10. It's not my favorite price. I would love to see this get under double digits. That would do a lot for me, but right now I think the Warriors -10 is the side you want to be on. They're just playing their best ball right now, and I don't think they're going to be slowed down by a team like the Brooklyn Nets. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Houston Rockets going on the road to take on the New Orleans Pelicans. The Rockets come into this game 37-25 on the year, but losers of their last 3 in a row, losing at the Pacers, at the Thunder, and at home against the Sacramento Kings. So we'll see if they can turn things around in that loss against the Pacers. It was a road game. In the loss, we saw Alperen Sengun play pretty well. 12 of 19 from the field, 25 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, but also a nice day from Amen Thompson. Not a ton of scoring, but 12 rebounds, 4 assists, a couple of steals from him, but as a team, guys, not putting a ton together. Only 30% from 3, missed half of their 26 free throws. Like, that hurts. They did dominate the boards, but it was not enough there for a win, and they need to get healthy. They need to play better here down the stretch, or things are going to get very, very sketchy here for this Rockets team. They're in the 5 seed, but they're only 3 games up on teams, both like the Warriors and the Timberwolves, so they could tumble down the standings here, and it would get pretty ugly pretty fast. They could end up in the play-in or who knows what. So the Rockets got to get healthy, got to get things back on the right track here, and it has not been super easy for them to stay healthy. I mean, right now we see Fred VanVleet still on the injury report with that ankle issue. Again, he is listed as out for this game. It appears he will not play in this game against the Pelicans. So they're not going to be at full strength here as they head to New Orleans to take on a Pelicans team that's been a little bit feisty here down the stretch. They've won 4 out of their last 6 games, which not terrible for a team that's only 17-45 on the year. So, you know, it hasn't been smooth sailing, obviously, for the Pelicans. They dealt with so many injuries early on, but it seems like they're figuring things out here against the Lakers. They could not figure out LeBron, and, you know, other than that, they couldn't really figure out Luka, but other than that, they played okay. But yeah, not a great game at all for the Pelicans, except for Zion, who's showcasing once again that he is one of the biggest talents in the league if he can control his weight, if he can stay healthy. The dude put up 37 points and was a plus 13 there on the road against the Lakers. Didn't get any help. CJ McCollum, a terrible game. Trey Murphy III was okay, but no help coming off the bench, except for Jordan Hawkins, who did play well. But as a team, they shot only 26% from the field. You're not going to lose from 3. You're not going to win a lot of games there, especially on the road if you shoot the ball that poorly from long distance. So definitely some things to work on here for the Pelicans. But they come into this game, they're doing what they can. They're trying to stay competitive. Obviously, they're way out of any sort of playoff race, but they also come into this game looking fully healthy, which is a big, big deal. You got Zion out there. You got CJ McCollum, a consummate professional in a bounce-back spot. Like, that means a lot for the squad. And right now, looking at the numbers, we see the Pelicans at home are getting 4.5 points. We got a total of 227.5. Houston's only 18-12-1 against the spread on the road. They're 14-10 against the spread after a loss. The Pelicans 16-13-1 against the spread at home. Actually, an above 500 against the spread team at home, which is pretty crazy stuff. Not something you would necessarily expect to see from New Orleans, a team that hasn't had a great time, but when they play at home, they've played hard and they've played well. They are 17-26-1 against spread after a loss. But guys, I'm taking the Pelicans here getting 4.5 points. There's nobody on Houston that I feel like can slow down Zion. There are very few people in the NBA that I feel like can slow down Zion right now, and I think this is a great sign for this Pelicans team and a great spot for them to maybe even come in and steal a win. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the New York Knicks going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Lakers. The Knicks, fresh off that tough loss there to the Warriors in a game where they didn't have Karl Anthony Towns. They're 40-21 in the season, so not a ton to complain about. They're hanging on to that 3 seed. They've got a nice cushion against the, over the Milwaukee Bucks there, so they should be fine. But I lose a couple games, Bucks win a couple games, it could get a little bit sketchy. In that loss there against the Warriors, we saw, OG Anunoby actually lead the way. He played really, really well, putting up 29 points, 25 there from Brunson, who didn't have the best night. He really struggled shooting from deep, and the Knicks as a team really struggled from long range in that game, shooting only 8 of 33 from distance. They did a good job on the boards, but got out-rebounded slightly, and clearly really, really missed Karl-Anthony Towns. Like any team without their second best player, probably not going to have the best time out there. So we'll see what they do in this one, see if they've got a bounce back in them. I mean, they are a solid team. The biggest question right now for the Knicks is probably going to be health right now. They need Karl-Anthony Towns back, and it appears that he is going to be back for this game. We do see OG Anunoby and Mitchell Robinson and Precious Achiuwa all on the injury report, though. So definitely worth looking at. OG, guys, he's questionable due to a left thumb sprain. That can be a pretty big deal, obviously. Mitchell Robinson, dealing with his ankle, is questionable for this game. We see Precious Achiuwa. He's questionable for this game due to left hamstring tightness, so seems unlikely we'll see him. And right now, I mean, I'm not going to say we're out of options to guard LeBron and Luka, but, I mean, really, you got Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart, and who else that can really guard either one of those guys. So we'll see what happens there. Definitely looking unlikely to be the full-strength Knicks as they go on the road to take on the Lakers, who are fresh off another win, guys. They've won 7 in a row. They're 39-21 on the season. They're currently hanging on to the 2 seed in the West. How crazy is that after what we've seen go on for the Lakers this season, that they are now in the second high? They got the second most wins in the Western Conference. That is crazy, crazy stuff. So we'll see if they can hold on to that, see if things can keep going in a positive direction. The Lakers are fresh off that 136-115 win against the Pelicans. It appears that Dalton Knecht is getting over his whole, like I was traded and then had to come back. That's a crazy situation. Don't mind the, the young man being worried or bothered by it, but he scored 13 points. It looked like he was, playing with a lot of joy out there. That was good to see. LeBron played amazing. 34 points at his age is crazy work. 50% from 3, 5 of 10. Like, that's very, very good. I can't really fault anything LeBron's doing right now. He's even trying on defense, which is a bit bizarre to see here in the regular season, but right now, the only weak link in that starting lineup looked to be Gabe Vincent, who was 1 of 7 from the field in 29 minutes. But Luka played out of his mind. LeBron played well. The bench actually chipped in a lot. So, yeah, just a lot of positive things right now for the Lakers. Are they going to be able to keep it rolling? Well, we'll see, guys. There's reason for optimism, that's for sure. However, they come into this game pretty banged up. We see Luka, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and LeBron all on the injury report. That's going to be a little bit weird if they all miss this game. I mean, Luka dealing with a knee issue. He's probable for this game. Austin Reeves with his calf problem. He's probable, so it looks like he's coming back. The Rui Hachimura situation does not appear that he's probably coming back yet. So, yeah, no Rui, but LeBron, guys, he's listed as probable with that foot issue. So, despite the injury report looking very crowded, it appears the Lakers are going to be very, very close to, if not at full strength. I mean, no Rui, so I guess not at full strength, but things are looking pretty good for the Lakers. They're only 3.5-point favorites in this game. We've got a total of 228.5. The Knicks, 14-15 against spread on the road, 11-9 against spread after a loss. The Lakers, 20-11 against spread at home, 22-15-1 against spread after a win. Guys, I'm not making this too complicated. Give me Luka and LeBron James on the same team here to win a game at home by at least 4 points. Seems very, very standard to me. Not a lot of great options for the Knicks right now to be guarding LeBron and Luka, and one of those two guys is going to torch you. So yeah, not going to overthink this one. Definitely give me the Lakers at -3.5. This is a play that is 100% going in the pinned comment. Now, guys, switching gears, we're going to hop over and look at some of the college basketball games. We've even got conference tournament action tipping off today, so very, very interesting stuff. There's even early afternoon games, a very fun thing to see on a Thursday. But the first game we're going to look at, not a conference tournament game. We've got Florida Atlantic going on the road to take on UAB. The Florida Atlantic Owls come into this game, guys, 16-13 on the season. They're 9-7 in conference play. They are fresh off of a nice win there at South Florida, a 69-63 win on the road. Nothing wrong with that. We were on FAU in that game, so we'll definitely take it. Thank you, FAU Owls, for bringing home the cheddar for us. This team in general has looked very serviceable at times, but also pretty bad at times. The defense, definitely nothing to write home about. They can rebound it a little bit, and they can definitely score the rock. They're actually 61st in the nation in points per game, so that's pretty solid. Maybe not on the same level as necessarily some other teams in their conference. The last time they played UAB was much earlier in the season. They were at home for that one, and we did see FAU lose that game 81-76. Not the greatest showing from them there in the first half. And I mean, it was a close game down the stretch, obviously, but when you only shoot 15 free throws, your opponent shoots 22, that maybe is a little bit tough. And they didn't necessarily shoot the lights out, shooting 40% from the field. So not great. They keep things close, but not able to come away with a win. So we'll see what they can do here on the road as they take on the UAB Blazers, who are 19-10 on the season. They find themselves in third place in the American, a couple games back of Memphis, 1 game back there of North Texas. So not going to be getting that top spot in the conference, but they've got a chance to prove a couple things here and bounce back from a tough loss there against number 18 Memphis. It was a close game. They end up losing 88-81, so it's not like they played terrible or anything like that. They'd actually been playing pretty well, winning 4 in a row before that, and a large part of that is this is a great offensive team, 16th in the nation in points per game. They're also great on the boards, a top 20 rebounding team. They play a little bit of defense, although, giving up 88 points against Memphis, their last time out kind of goes against that. They gave up a nice, 6-point halftime lead to eventually lose by 7. That has to feel a little bit brutal. They shot the ball okay, 35% from 3. You can't ask for too much better than that, but they got destroyed on the boards in this game. They shot more free throws, but just was not enough out there, despite Memphis shooting only 5 of 17 from 3. So a little bit tough there from UAB. They've got a chance to, get a nice win in this one, though. A little bit of a bounce back. They're -5 at home. We've got a total of 164.5. Florida Atlantic, 5-7 against spread on the road, 4-4 to the over/under, 14-14 to the over/under this year. UAB 8-8 against spread at home, 15-12-1 to the over. So first up, guys, maybe you can interest me in the over, but more interesting than that to me, I think you want to be on UAB here at -5 points at home. They kind of already proved they're the better team in this specific matchup. They're in a nice bounce back spot after a tough loss against a very, very good team. So yeah, go ahead and give me UAB. I think they can find a way to win this game by 6. Next up, guys, we're headed out to the MAAC. We've got Mount St. Mary's going on the road to take on Quinnipiac. The Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers are 18-11 on the season. They're 11-7 in conference play, which isn't terrible, isn't necessarily stellar. They're fresh off a 6-point win against Siena. Not the easiest opponent, but not the toughest, a middle-of-the-road conference opponent, but a good win for Mount St. Mary's to get there nevertheless. They've won, what is it up to now? 5 out of the last 6, so they've been playing pretty well. Now they get a real test, though, going up against Quinnipiac, the best team in the conference. The Mountaineers, guys, the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers, they're a pretty decent rebounding team, but the offense really, really lacking, averaging 71.7 points per game. That's 265th in the nation overall. So that's not usually going to get the job done, and it did not get the job done the last time they faced Quinnipiac, a game they lost 91-57, and that was a home game for Mount St. Mary's. So we'll see what they can do here in the rematch. Quinnipiac, the Bobcats, guys, 18-11 on the season, 14-4 in conference play, only a 1-game lead there over Marist for the top spot in the conference. They are actually in a bounce-back spot. They're fresh off a tough road loss there at Merrimack. They lost that game 73-63 in an uncharacteristically kind of poor offensive performance there from the Quinnipiac Bobcats. They have to finish things off strong if they want that top spot in the conference tournament. I'm sure that they do. We love what we've seen from Amari Monroe. I mean, 17.5 points per game does not grow on trees. This team, they're pretty decent offensively, not great. The defense doesn't wow you, but they dominate. Like, they win games on the boards, guys. They're a very, very solid rebounding team. And the last time they played Mount St. Mary's, it was quite a bit earlier in the season, but they did a very good job of producing offense, putting up 91 points. They, had a nice edge on the boards, 39-30 on the glass. They shot more free throws despite being on the road. They shot the ball really, really well from 3 and well from the field. And we saw Amari Monroe go off for 25 points. And yeah, Caden Bennett also put up 21 points. So right now, guys, we see Quinnipiac as 8.5-point favorites at home. We had a total of 152. Mount St. Mary's is 10-6 against the spread on the road, though. They are 14-14 to the over/under. Quinnipiac only 5-6-1 against the spread at home. They are also, interestingly enough, 14-14 to the over/under. But guys, I think this is a spot. Despite the nice against spread numbers on the road from Mount St. Mary's, I'm actually going to be siding with Quinnipiac here to win this game, probably by double digits. I think the Bobcats are just the much better team. Clearly, Mount St. Mary's has some matchup problems with this. I mean, you don't lose a game by 30 points unless there's some problems. And I think Quinnipiac more than capable of running it back in this one in a must-win bounce-back game for them. Next up, guys, we're looking at the UTEP Miners going on the road to take on Sam Houston. UTEP comes into this game 17-12 on the season, fresh off of now a 5th straight loss. They, not having a great time. A 1-point loss their last time out against Middle Tennessee in overtime, so that had to feel pretty brutal. UTEP guys are only 7-9 in conference play, way down the standings there in the Conference USA. So it's been a little bit tough out there. They're not a particularly good offensive team. The defense is okay, but the rebounding, 407th in the nation in rebounding. That is not a good look. And now they got to take on a Sam Houston team that they did beat earlier this season, so there's something positive to look at there. The Sam Houston Bearcats are only 11-18 on the year, so that's not ideal. They've lost 2 in a row, including a very close miss there against Middle Tennessee, but Also, they got blown out their last time out against the Louisiana Tech. So now they get to play at home, but against a team that's already beaten them this season. They're not a very good defensive team. They do have a monster in Lamar Wilkerson putting up 20 points per game, so nothing wrong with that, but do they really have the defense and the rebounding to hang tight in this game? Well, the last time they faced UTEP, guys, they lost by, 9 points. Yeah, we saw Sam Houston shoot 30% from 3 in the loss. They kept things, they had a little bit of a rebounding edge even. They didn't necessarily let UTEP shoot the lights out in the game either, so we'll see what they can do in this one. Sam Houston actually 2-point favorites at home. We got a total of 144.5. UTEP, though, 4-6 against spread on the road, 15-10 and 1 to the over. Sam Houston, guys, 2-6 against spread at home, so pretty bad against spread at home. They're 15-11 to the over. So, guys, I think this is actually a very good spot to take the over. In terms of a side, you could pretty much pick your own adventure here. I guess I would lean towards UTEP, but I think we're going to see plenty of offense in this game. Definitely give me over 144.5 in this one. Next up, guys, we got probably the biggest, most, hype game on the slate, I suppose. Out there in the Big Ten, we've got number 8 Michigan State going on the road to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Michigan State comes into this game still holding on to that top spot out there in the Big Ten. They're, got a two-game lead there in the loss column over Michigan, so that has to feel pretty good. They're fresh off a 71-62 win against Wisconsin, so that also has to feel great. They do have that matchup against number 17 Michigan looming, but they've already beaten Michigan once this season, so I would say the Spartans feeling very, very good about the way things are looking. Obviously, that win against Wisconsin, a very nice win, beating the 11th ranked team in the nation. They did a great job of shutting down the three-point shooting there of Wisconsin. We saw Michigan State, win despite shooting less free throws. They dominated the boards in this game, an 11 rebound edge there, and just very, very good stuff up and down the roster. 3 starters scored in double figures, 19 points out there from Jaden Atkins. He played really, really well, shot the ball pretty well. I mean, I guess 6 of 18 from the field isn't amazing, but really, we're very happy with what we saw from the Michigan State Spartans. Like, they played great in that game. They, over the course of the season, are putting up fantastic numbers. An elite rebounding team, an elite defensive team, with a top 85 offensive team to go with it. So, not a lot of weaknesses for Michigan State. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Iowa Hawkeyes, who are 15-14 on the season. They're only 6-12 in conference play, so that's been a little brutal. They're fresh off of back-to-back conference losses, and they've actually lost 4 out of their last 5 in conference play, with the only win coming against Washington, who just so happens to be the worst team in the conference this season. Their last game out was a 68-57 loss at Northwestern, and I don't necessarily think this is going to be an easier opponent. I mean, in that loss at Northwestern, we didn't really love what we saw from Iowa. I mean, yeah, 2 double-digit scores in the whole game. They shot 32% from 3. You're not going to shoot that much better than that. They did, their opponent shot more than 3 times as many free throws, so that'll mess you up. But they had a rebounding deficit, and they really, really struggled defensively in that game. So, yeah, just not a lot of positives right now from Iowa, and I don't necessarily think that this, is going to be the easiest spot to turn it around playing against one of the best teams in the nation. Right now, guys, we see Iowa getting 6.5 points at home. We've got a total of 151.5. Michigan State actually 6-2-1 against the spread on the road, which is pretty impressive. They're 20-9 to the under, so a big, big under team. Iowa only 6-10-1 against spread at home, 15-14 to the over. This is a pretty chalky play, guys. I'm not going to lie, and it appears that the odds makers regard this as something as a trap spot for Michigan State, a look-ahead spot perhaps with Michigan on deck, but I don't think they really even have to be that locked in to win this game against Iowa by 7 or more points. I will definitely take Michigan State at home on the road in this one. I don't care that they're playing away from home. I think they win this game comfortably. Next up, guys, we got the Oakland Golden Grizzlies going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Panthers. Oakland comes in this game 15-17 on the year, but they're playing a little bit better down the stretch, winning 3 out of their last 4. It's pretty helpful when 2 out of those 4 games, though, are against Green Bay. Kind of looking like one of the worst college basketball teams out there right now. They're only 2-18 in Horizon play. So it's been pretty brutal, but like what we're seeing from the Golden Grizzlies right now, the offense is clicking a little bit. I mean, they've been around 300th in the nation offense this season, but that number's getting a little bit better. The defense is looking okay. The thing now is they're, taking on a pretty decent Milwaukee team that they lost to by 5 at Milwaukee not too long ago. Now they got to play at Milwaukee again, so we'll see how that one goes. It's probably not going to be the easiest. Oh wait, this isn't at Milwaukee. This is in the Horizon League, championship quarterfinals. So we'll see how that goes. It is a conference game, obviously, but it is still a home game being played in the Milwaukee Panthers arena. So liking what we're seeing from Milwaukee right now for sure. I mean, they come into this game, like I was saying, playing pretty well, winning 5 out of their last 6, so nothing wrong with that. I mean, we love what we're seeing from Themis Folks. He's playing well this season. This is a top 65 offensive team. They're an elite rebounding team. I expect them to do a lot of positive stuff on the boards in this game. And yeah, the defense, not too bad either. The last time they played Oakland, it was a little bit of a close game, but we saw Milwaukee eventually come away with a 5-point win. We saw Oakland shoot 18 free throws in that game, 33 free throws from the Milwaukee Panthers. They do a great job of getting to the line, and they won that game despite shooting an abysmal 3 of 20 from long range. They also had a rebounding edge. Guys, looking at the numbers here, Milwaukee, they're a 5.5-point favorite. We've got a total of 144.5. Oakland, 7-9 against spread on the road, 16-15 to the over. Milwaukee, 7-6 against spread home, 15 and 14 to the over themselves. Guys, I think this is a pretty good spot to take Milwaukee. I don't think it's going to end up in the pinned comment. Sometimes things get a little bit off the rails here in these conference, tournament games, but I think Milwaukee, definitely the side you want to be on. Next up, guys, we're headed to the American. We're looking at the Rice Owls the Wichita State Shockers going on the road to take on the Rice Owls. Wichita State comes into this game. They were playing some of their best ball of the season, albeit against some kind of weak competition. Then they ran up against UAB, lost that one by 8, and then they ran up against North Texas at North Texas and lost in a heartbreaker, guys. They lost the game 68-66. So a very well-played game there by Wichita State, but unable to come away with a win there at the very, very end. Yeah, devastating to lose those games like that, guys. It is very, very tough. They played well, put up a lot more offense than you would expect against North Texas, but this team continues to play okay. Xavier Bell, 15 points per game, serviceable. They're a decent offensive team, an okay defensive team, but they are an elite rebounding team, and I'm sure they'll be hoping that carries them in this game. I mean, they're going up against a Rice Owls team that comes into this one only 13-17 on the season, so not exactly cruising by any stretch of the imagination. They don't have a big-time leading scorer to lean on. They're fresh off a blowout loss there at UTSA, which probably feels bad. They are a good rebounding team as well. Their offensive numbers not as good. Their defensive numbers not nearly as good. Like I said, no superstar scorer either, so this could be a bit of a tough game there. They played Memphis earlier. They lost that one by 12. Now they're going to play, obviously a worse team in the Shockers, but not that much worse of a team necessarily. So looking at the numbers, guys, Rice getting 1.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 144.5. Wichita State, 6-4 against spread on the road, 7-11 to the under. Rice, 7-5-1 against spread at home, 16-13 to the over. Guys, I love Wichita State on the road in this spot. I know Rice has been a decent home team and all that, but Wichita State's going to be desperate for a win after losing 2 in a row. Wichita State, definitely a team with aspirations to try and make their way into the tournament this year. It's going to be tough, but I think they have, what it takes to put together a run here. They've shown that by winning, they win like 6 games in a row, including a win over Memphis. So yeah, definitely give me Wichita State here away from home. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Get over to stumpthespread.com. Check out all of our free information over there. Also check out our premium picks. Get on our free email list. Get signed up to be a channel member if you're interested in that as well to get closer to that giveaway. And hit that like button. Helps these videos get promoted out there. I really appreciate everybody that gets down in the comments every single day. I love seeing you guys out there. I respond to all the comments. I love the interaction. And guys, don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow at the very same time with another video. We'll see you guys then for more sports betting action.